Here's more information on Gallup, by the way. The Department of Justice, Eric Holder, has joined in a lawsuit against Gallup, brought by a former Gallup employee who's a top Obama organizer. So the DOJ, the regime, suing Gallup. And shortly thereafter, Gallup's numbers on Obama changers. More from the Hill.com poll today. Among women, 39% said that they were more likely to vote for Obama because of the conventions, while 35% said that they were more likely to vote for Romney. That 39's got to be 50 for it to matter. After 4 days of the war on women, after 4 days of the uterus and the vagina being a focal point of convention, they get 39% say they were more likely to vote for Obama. They're going to need more than that to overcome Romney's advantage in men. And who the heck knows what the Hill.com was asking about this being a choice election versus a referendum election? I'm amazed. Here you have a poll that actually uses as a question an assertion from Obama's acceptance speech. This is going to be a referendum, Obama. That's why we're so worried, folks. Nothing's changed from 2010. Did Chick-fil-A not happen? Did those nationwide protests at Chick-fil-A not happen? Have they all, everybody that was involved, you talk about a grassroots spontaneous effort. All over this country, everywhere there were Chick-fil-A restaurants, you know what happened in response to the assault on Chick-fil-A. Those people are going to vote. Have they decided after the Democrat convention to say, you know what, maybe Obama's not so bad? This is a referendum on Obama, and that's what's got us all scared to death. Because if the referendum on Obama is that this is the kind of country people want, that's what's got us worried. But it hasn't changed. It's a referendum on Obama. But they're doing everything they can. I still predict, don't forget it was just last week, New York Times and a couple of other prominent lib places started writing stories blaming Obama. Get the Woodward book coming out, blaming Obama for being horrible decision maker, not even showing up. It's just last week. And all of a sudden the weekend comes, the Sunday shows some new polls, and the reality of just 5 days ago is forgotten. It's not how things work. It was just last week the media was preparing to throw Obama overboard in order to save liberalism because it looked like he was going to lose. All of this is based on a supposed mythical bounce that Obama got from his convention. You know, last time, my memory is that all these drive-by people were crushed after Obama's speech on Thursday night. My memory is they thought it was horrible. My memory is they thought it was empty. My memory is that they thought it was vapid and there was nothing to it. And all of a sudden it's the greatest damn speech ever given. I know it's tough to hold on for. I know it's tough to stay for some people. And I'm not kidding. I got people emailing me being depressed about the new iPhone. I kid you not. Well, I'll tell you why. It's because apparently everything is known about what it's going to be. And that's like taking Santa Claus out of Christmas for people. Apple's big announcement on Wednesday, and everybody thinks they know what the phone's going to be. It's going to be a 4-inch screen. It's going to have LTE, 4G LTE in it. It's going to have whatever. It's going to have people know it. It's not a new design. It looks exactly like the current phone, a little thinner. Looks just like the current phone, just a half-inch longer, but no wider. It's going to have a bigger screen, but nothing on that screen is going to be bigger. There's just going to be more space on the screen. And the Apple fanboys are all depressed that they're losing to Samsung, even though Apple just creamed them in court. Because the Samsung phones are bigger screens. It's amazing to track this. You know, I'm a Mac fanboy myself. So I track this stuff. I'm actually, I got a friend of mine down here is forlorn like you can't believe, because, and I try to tell him, look, remember last year Siri? Nobody knew that was coming. They always hold something back that's exclusive to the new phone, some hot-to-trot thing. He said, well, what do you think it's going to be? He said, how do I know? So I started guessing. Okay, fingerprint ID to lock the computer, lock the phone. Facial recognition. I don't know. I started throwing what I thought were cool things out to mollify the guy to stop him from being so damn depressed. I started pointing out, when's the last time they changed the design of their laptops? When's the last time they changed it? The iPad design hasn't changed in 3 years. It's not. And the reason is last year, everybody was expecting a teardrop design iPhone. They didn't get it. And they're not going to be happy till they do. And some of these Apple blog guys are obsessed with NFC technology, near-field communications, mobile wallet. And it ain't going to be in there. So I think it's all a failure. It's amazing to look at the various things people are interested in, and you can find depression everywhere. Disappointment. And Apple hadn't even said anything yet. But everybody's convinced they know what it's going to be, and it's like Santa Claus is. One guy even said, you know, is Tim Cook, the CEO of Apple, so boring? They better get a celebrity out there to conduct the big show on Wednesday, or nobody's going to watch it. Now, there's a piece, pjmedia.com, pajamasmedia.com. It's posted, yesterday by Sarah Hoyt. Till yesterday, I didn't know who Sarah Hoyt. Well, I still don't know who she is, but this is an excellent, excellent piece. I can't read the whole thing because it's too long. Spreading fear and despondency. And sounds like she feels as exasperated as I do at the people who have gotten so depressed on our side that they're just about ready to throw in the towel. She starts her post this way. Recently, I've been reading the anti-Obama blogosphere, and yesterday it finally got to me. I have only one question to ask. Are you insane? Now, let me add a few other questions. Have you gone completely out of your minds? Do you want to lose? Do you understand fully what a loss would mean? I hate to say it, but I think the answers are yes, 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 and no. I don't like yelling at people on the right. Like Reagan, I hold on to the idea that there are no enemies on the right. I prefer to make my points in nicer ways. However, there comes a time any good housewife reaches for the broom, and it's now time for the broom. Yesterday at various blogs, I read over and over again the Democrat convention gave Obama a big bounce. He's winning. His approval's now over 50%. Their enthusiasm's as high as that of the Republican crowd. And then you look at the polls that caused all of this sky is falling stuff. And what are those polls? Well, those polls are, in fact, the same old crap. They poll adults, which you know skews Democrat. They poll registered voters, which you know skews Democrat. They poll with a skew of 4% Democrats over Republicans, as though this was still 2008. And they poll as if 2010 never happened. And when Gallup polled, according to 2010, Axelrod and the regime jumped on him, threatened him. Then all the people on the right echo these things as though they were legitimate and say, oh, but the polls were correct before. So she's upset here at all the poll watchers on our side who fall for it and buy into it. Really? The polls were correct before when? The very last polls before the election. By the way, this is exactly right. This is the very last polls before the election when pollsters try to salvage their reputation. That's when you pay attention to polls. It's just like I said. The public policy polling poll out of Ohio today that shows Obama at 50% doesn't mean anything. Nobody's going to go back and cite this poll as to whether or not PPP had any idea what they were doing or had any credibility. Same thing with Rasmussen, same thing with Gallup, Reuters, you name it. They're going to look at the polls in the last week to two before the election. And that's when you get accurate ones. That's when we'll know. Up until then, we know these polls are all conducted by people who want Obama reelected, who want the Obama agenda. They don't even know what it is. How long do you think this country has? Let me ask you this. How long does this country have if Obama wins? We are headed toward an economic collapse. And we are the leader of the world. When it happens to us, there are reverberations all over the world. It's not like some podunk little European country collapsing that goes to another relatively podunk European country for a bailout. When we collapse, worldwide reverberation. How long is it going to take? I'm asking a serious question. 18 months? You throw Obamacare onto what we know we're going to get more of from Obama. More debt, more spending, the expansion of the welfare state, more people under... How long can this go on? How many of you think we're at the tipping point now? Medicare, Medicaid, Social Security. The years are 2020, 2022, 2024 as to when they implode. How long do we have if this guy wins? And then what happens? If this guy wins, do you realize, I saw Matthews. Matthews was saying, I don't know when, Friday, Saturday on PMSNBC, if Obama wins, that's the end of conservatism. Nope. If Obama wins, let me tell you what's the end of. The Republican Party. And there's going to be a third party that's going to be oriented toward conservatism. Rand Paul thinks libertarianism. And I know if Obama wins, the Republican Party is going to try to maneuver things so conservatives get blamed. The only problem is, right now, Romney's not running a conservative campaign. But they're going to set it up so, well, the right sat home or the right made Romney be other than who he is. They'll try to deflect the blame. But they got who they want. But how long do we have, folks? If Obama wins, how long do we have? I know people who think 18 months. 18 months before a real United States economic collapse that the Fed can't do anything about, that the Chi-Coms can't do anything about. 2 years, 4 years, whatever. Point is, that's what's on the other side of Obama winning, because he's not going to change anything. Brief timeout, obscene profit timeout. We'll be back after this.